History remembers him as a god, a conqueror, and a visionary. But in 356 BCE, he was simply a prince born into the rugged kingdom of Macedon. Alexander III didn't just inherit a throne, he inherited a dream from his father, Philip II, the dream of a united Greece striking back at the massive Persian Empire. Tutored by the great philosopher Aristotle, Alexander grew up with the Iliad under his pillow. He didn't just want to rule, he wanted to be the next Achilles. When his father was assassinated, the 20-year-old king didn't hesitate. He crushed rebellions at home and then turned his eyes toward the east, beginning a journey that would change the map of the world forever. To understand Alexander's success, you have to understand his army. He led the Macedonian phalanx, a dense block of infantry armed with the sarissa, a spear nearly 18 feet long. This created a wall of bronze and wood that was almost impossible to penetrate from the front. But Alexander's true genius was his use of the companion cavalry. At the Battle of Issus and the decisive Battle of Gaugamela, he didn't wait for the enemy to come to him. He looked for a gap in the Persian lines and led a personal charge directly at the Persian king, Darius III. Despite being outnumbered, sometimes 5-1, Alexander's tactical speed and psychological warfare broke the largest empire the world had ever seen. By age 25, he was the king of Babylon, the king of Asia, and the pharaoh of Egypt. Alexander wasn't content with just conquering Persia. He pushed further into the unknown reaches of Central Asia and across the Indus River into India. He wasn't just a general, he was an explorer. He founded dozens of cities, most of them named Alexandria, which acted as outposts of Greek culture in the heart of Asia. However, the cost of glory was high. In India, at the Battle of the Hydaspes, his army faced war elephants for the first time. Though they won, the spirit of his men finally broke. They had been away from home for 8 years and marched over 11,000 miles. They mutinied, not out of hate for their king, but out of pure exhaustion. Alexander, the man who had never lost a battle, suffered his first defeat, not at the hands of an enemy, but at the hands of his own tired soldiers. Alexander retreated to Babylon to plan his next move, but his body was failing him. Years of wounds, heavy drinking, and exhaustion took their toll. In 323 BCE, at the age of 32, he fell into a violent fever. As he lay on his deathbed, his generals gathered around him, desperate to know who would lead the empire. According to legend, Alexander whispered his final words, "To the strongest." He left no clear heir, and within years, his massive empire was torn apart by his own generals. They spent decades fighting over the pieces, eventually carving out the kingdoms that would define the Hellenistic age. The political unity died with Alexander, but his vision of a connected world lived on. Alexander the Great's legacy isn't found in the borders of his empire, which vanished almost instantly. It's found in the spread of Greek culture, from the philosophy taught in Afghan mountains to the Greek-style statues of the Buddha. He was a man of contradictions, a student of philosophy who could be a brutal tyrant, a king who led from the front lines, and a visionary who believed he could fuse the East and West into one civilization. Whether you see him as a hero or a conqueror, one fact remains. In just 12 years, Alexander did more to bridge the gap between continents than any man before or since. He didn't just live history, he forged it.